Eek. Hey folks, Necro Black, and this is the Necro Black vlog, number 19. And yes, as I said before, when I tried to upload the video from my piece of crap incognito phone, see this beat up piece of shit, goes on Facebook and can go on YouTube, but depends on my connection. Anyway, I'm getting over the tooth and cold. I said that I would be taking a look at two bills that were passed into law, and being that I just got a chance to get to a computer, really, I'm reading about it now. I've actually been reading up on it. This is like the third or fourth time I'm recording this vlog. The two bills that I will be talking about is, first, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012, and secondly, H.R.437, though I won't be talking about them in order. But I want to cover H.R.437 first, the Trespass bill, because it basically says that it'll be killing our First Amendment right. Apparently, I would say about 10 to 12 days ago, the bill, which formally named is called the Federal Restricted Buildings and Grounds Improvement Act of 2011, basically states that it is illegal to trespass on the grounds of the White House. Now, what this means is, what they're basically saying is, it's not necessarily illegal to go on the grounds of the White House if you're going to go for a tour, or if you're going to go take pictures. You know, that's one thing. But God forbid you're doing a demonstration, you're protesting, or you're doing some kind of activism. You know, you can get arrested. You can get arrested. And the funny thing is that you would think that this is only for the White House, but it's actually not. According to this, it's the wording in the bill that basically extends the expansion, the reach of the bill to all political offices across the country. Basically, if there's a building that happens to house a political office, be it a district attorney or I say district attorney because technically they are, in a sense, part of politics. A judge, congressman, a senator, your state comptroller. If you don't agree with something that they may have said or done, and you go over there to protest, you can get arrested. Now they say, according to this, it is only if the president is within the confines of the place that's being protested. You will have misdemeanor charges brought up against you for trying to get close to the president without authorization. Of course, who's to say that it will only cover the president? Who's to say that some changes in the law won't be made so that it will cover anybody who works within a political office within this country? Realistically, we have the right to band together and protest. It's in our Constitution. It's in the Bill of Rights. It's part of the First Amendment. Well, at least freedom of speech is part of the First Amendment. But this law basically makes it illegal to practice your freedom of speech. It's blatantly what it's saying. blatantly. Now, I have a problem with that. You know what I have a problem with that for? Because this can honestly be tied into the next bill, which was signed by President Obama on New Year's Eve, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012. They have this act signed every couple of years. And it reads, now this is the thing. This country, first and foremost, like I spoke on the last vlog, we're in like a crazy debt. Yet, this act authorizes a $662 billion worth of funding for things like the defense of the United States and its interests abroad. Now, President Obama basically said in a signing statement that this would address national security programs. Sorry, I'm kind of bleh because I'm getting kind of cottonmouth. I need some water. Department of Defense healthcare costs, counterterrorism within the United States and abroad, and military modernization. The act is supposed to impose new economic sanctions against Iran. That's section 1045. It's supposed to commission. It says also commission reviews on the military capabilities of countries such as Iran, China, and Russia, and it's supposed to refocus the strategic goals of NATO towards energy security. Now, the part of the bill that got the most attention is contained in Title X, Subtitle D, entitled Counterterrorism, particularly in sections 1021 and 1022. Here's the deal. Here's what it reads. Because I'm actually wikiing this, and you can get the Wikipedia page. I will put the Wikipedia page for the National Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012, and I will also get you the Wikipedia page for H.R.437. Hold on, let me bring that up right now. Google it. Yes, Google it. Another word. 437. Wikipedia. 437. Wikipedia. Alrighty. Oh wow, they don't even have a Wikipedia page for it. Alright, well I'll put up the other link that I'm actually reading the thing from. Sorry about that, that took about a whole minute or so of time. But anyway, let's get back to this National Defense Authorization Act. Sections 1021 and 1022, which deal with detention of persons on detention of persons the government suspects of involvement in terrorism. Basically, let's see, it's supposed to maintain that the authorization for use of military force, AUMF, already grants presidential authority for indefinite detention. The Act states that Congress affirms this authority, makes specific provisions as to the exercise of that authority. Alright, so here's the deal. Here's section 1021. Here's the bugged out part. The detention sections of the NDAA begin by affirming that the authority of the President under the AUMF, a joint resolution passed in the immediate aftermath of the September 11th, 2001 attacks, includes the power to detain via the armed forces any person who was a part of or substantially supported Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or associated forces that are engaged in hostilities against the United States or its coalition partners, and anyone who commits a belligerent act against the United States or its coalition allies in aid of such enemy forces under the law of war without trial until the end of the hostilities authorized by the AUMF. The text basically, authorizes trial by military tribunal or transfer to the custody or control of the person's country of origin, or transfer to any other foreign country or any other foreign entity. Basically, according to this, if you are considered a supporter of Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or anyone that's associated with those groups, if the United States government thinks this, because it doesn't say that there is any proof, it doesn't say that they have to have proof, they can arrest you, they can jail you. No trial, no jury, no nothing. Section 1022 states, all persons arrested and detained according to the provisions of Section 1021, including those detained on U.S. soil, whether detained indefinitely or not, are required to be held by the United States Armed Forces. The law affords the option to have U.S. citizens detained by the armed forces, but this requirement does not extend to them, as with foreign persons. Lawful resident aliens may or may not be required to be detained by the armed forces on the basis of conduct taking place within the United States. Now, depending on how much they see that you're a supporter of said terrorist groups, is depending on what they're going to do with you. In other words, sorry, I'm on Facey Space also. In other words, if they feel that you are supporting the causes of Al-Qaeda, of the Taliban, of all these other groups that are anti-American and anti-freedom and all that other stuff, they can jail you. They can do whatever they want, basically. So you can't go walking around in the streets saying, well, you know what, gee willikers, I think that what these freedom fighters in Afghanistan, because that's what Al-Qaeda considers themselves, and that's what the Taliban considers themselves, these freedom fighters in Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan, I think they're doing a great job trying to protect themselves, and and let someone hear you say that. You will be getting a knock on the door and probably a knock on the head by military police. And the funny thing about these laws is this. Nobody thinks about this part, but they probably already did, but I'll basically say it for you. Suppose someone decides that something that I said is somehow in support of said terrorist groups. Obviously it's not, but supposing they said that it was. Now, the U.S. government would basically have the right to send military personnel to my front door and have them detain me, have them arrest me and detain me in places like Guantanamo Bay, which was supposed to be closed, but it's not. Other federal and not even federal, in places like war prisons and shit like that. Yep, I said a curse again. Let's go crazy. Woo! Woo! Anywho, basically, someone can basically go and say that I'm saying all this. I can get arrested. And if my family decides they want to go and in protest speak out against my arrest, they can be arrested if it's on the grounds of a political office. They can be detained. And they can have misdemeanor charges brought up against them for trespassing. Where is the fairness in this? You know, I don't know about the rest of you, but I believe that this is supposed to be the land of the free. And yet it seems like every single day, or every other day, there is a law being put into play to take these basic freedoms that we have, that you and I have, and have them taken away. Bye-bye law. Bye-bye freedom. Hello law. Hello limitation. Bye. It's ridiculous. It is freaking ridiculous. I mean, is it me, or does it seem like our government, our country, is jealous of the fact that all these other totalitarian countries have the power that they have, and the level of, and seem to have the level of respect that they have from their citizens? Why? Because their citizens fear them and they control what's being said in the press? That anyone that speaks out against the government is basically arrested, tortured, and murdered? Yeah, but there's a big difference between this country and those countries. And that difference is that we're supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. And yet, every day, there's a new law being written, a new bill being printed or added to law to take away our basic rights. Our rights not only as Americans, but as people. You know, it's sad. It's really freaking sad. It's ridiculous. Makes me really, really, really hopeful for the future. Honestly. Oh yeah, real hopeful. But you know what? The people we elected into office was basically supposed to be protecting us, is doing everything in their power to protect themselves. Sucks. And the sad thing is we can't even come together and protest at their office. But that's okay. We don't need to protest at the office, or even on the office grounds. We do have streets. So I think we should start taking to them. If you don't like it, take to the streets. what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do and speak your mind, speak your piece. Don't let anybody tell you you can't say what you gotta say or what you feel you need to say. You know what I mean? There's always loopholes and there's always ways around things. Just gotta look, just gotta think of them. Anywho, I'm really glad that I actually got to read these bills now, because to be honest with you, had I read them later on or earlier on, could you imagine how much anger I would have had and how much I would have conveyed in this vlog? Could you? I know I can't. Oh. Freaking neck. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to relax and read something more positive, something that will take my mind off of this entire BS. And hopefully get to ease my mind. So, I will bring this vlog, number 19, to a close. But before I do, I want to encourage everyone. You know, there are other ways to protest, other ways to let your officials know that what they're doing is wrong. We live in the age of the internet. Sopa was killed. Sopa and Pipa, or Pipa, were killed just off of online protest. Alone. Well, probably not. There were probably phone calls made and letters written. But most people, and they said an overwhelming, it was like 13 million people or something like that, wrote against this law, which was voted down. People, I encourage you to take to the email, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Blogger, Tumblr, and any other site that you may be able to go and speak your mind and spread the message about these laws, that these unconstitutional laws, mind you, that are being passed. Wake up. Let people know that what's going on. And speak your mind. Tell these government officials, hey, we hired you. So why are we the ones that have to suffer for laws that you feel like they need to be passed? Speak your mind, people. That's all I'm going to tell you. Speak your mind. Don't be afraid to say what you got to say. Till next time, I am the Beastly One, the F66 and Sinful Dreams Party Animal, NVF's favorite luchador. And I'm going to be out like a light. Peace.